These are the 11 things that you must delete from your life in silence. 1. Negative self-talk. That voice in your head, the one that tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough, is the first thing you must eliminate. We all have this inner critic, but the Stoics understood its destructive power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about it. How often do you speak to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you love? When you make a mistake, do you offer yourself compassion, or do you launch into brutal self-criticism? The Stoics practiced what modern psychologists call cognitive distancing, the ability to separate yourself from your thoughts and observe them objectively. When negative self-talk arises, don't fight it. Simply notice it, label it. There's that critical thought again, and let it pass without attachment. Remember, your mind is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The choice is yours to make in silence, one thought at a time. 2. Toxic relationships. Associate with those who will make a better man of you, advised Seneca. Yet how many of us remain tethered to relationships that drain our energy, diminish our confidence, or pull us into drama? You felt it before, that heaviness after spending time with certain people, the subtle anxiety before meeting them, the relief when plans get canceled. Your body knows what your mind sometimes refuses to admit. Some relationships are poison to your well-being. The Stoics weren't advocating for abandonment or cruelty. Rather, they understood that we become like those we spend time with. They knew that protecting one's energy is essential to a life of virtue. This doesn't require a dramatic confrontation or public announcement. Simply begin to quietly create distance. Reduce contact gradually. Become less available. Redirect your energy toward relationships that nourish rather than deplete you. The quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of your relationships. Choose wisely and choose in silence. 3. Unhealthy habits. Our daily habits shape our lives more than any dramatic decision ever could. The Stoics recognized that small, repeated actions eventually become our character. That extra drink you promise yourself will be the last one. The hours scrolling through your phone when you should be sleeping. The procrastination that leaves you racing against deadlines. These aren't just harmless quirks. They're slowly eroding your potential. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit, as the philosopher Aristotle noted, aligning with Stoic principles. Breaking unhealthy habits doesn't require announcing your intentions to the world. In fact, research shows that publicly declaring goals can actually reduce your likelihood of achieving them by creating a false sense of progress. Quietly identify one habit that's holding you back. Then replace it with a healthier alternative. If stress leads to mindless eating, try a 5-minute breathing exercise instead. If you reach for your phone first thing each morning, place a book on your nightstand instead. Small, consistent changes, made without fanfare, create the foundation for transformation. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. 4. Regret and guilt. Perhaps nothing drains your present potential more than dwelling on past mistakes. The Stoics were practical. They understood that time spent in regret is time stolen from growth. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today, advises a modern extension of this ancient wisdom. Yet, how many hours have you spent replaying past errors, feeding the flames of shame and self-recrimination? The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can control. And one of the few things you always have power over is your mindset and your ability to let go. This doesn't mean avoiding responsibility for mistakes. Instead, extract the lesson, make amends where possible, and then release the emotional attachment to what cannot be undone. Write down a regret that haunts you. Beneath it, write, "The lesson I learned was." Then, fold the paper and ceremonially burn it, safely, or tear it into tiny pieces. This simple ritual helps your brain process and release what no longer serves you. The past exists only in your mind. You can choose, in silence, to leave it there and step fully into the present. 5. Material possessions. In our pursuit of fulfillment, we often find ourselves entangled in a web of materialism, constantly seeking to acquire more, only to realize that material wealth doesn't equate to happiness. Look around your space. How many items do you own that you rarely use? How much of your precious life energy was spent acquiring things that now collect dust or create clutter? The Stoics practiced voluntary simplicity long before minimalism became trendy. They understood that material possessions often become mental burdens, requiring maintenance, storage, worry, and attachment. This doesn't mean you must embrace extreme minimalism. Rather, begin to quietly assess your relationship with your possessions. What truly adds value to your life? What creates more burden than joy? 6. Comparisons. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Marcus Aurelius observed, "In modern terms, comparison is the thief of joy." Social media has amplified our natural tendency to compare ourselves to others. We scroll through carefully curated highlights of others' lives while intimately aware of our own full reality, the struggles, the doubts, the failures behind the scenes. The Stoics practiced what we might call running your own race. They understood that the only meaningful comparison is between who you are today and who you were yesterday. When you find yourself falling into comparison, quietly bring your attention back to your own path. Ask yourself, what progress am I making toward my own definition of success? Your path is uniquely yours. Walk it with confidence and without the need to announce your journey or compare it to others. 7. Impulsive reactions. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response, wrote Viktor Frankl, channeling Stoic wisdom. How often do you react impulsively rather than responding thoughtfully? The angry email sent in haste, the defensive comment when feeling criticized, the hasty decision made under pressure. The Stoics practiced creating space between events and their reactions. Epictetus taught that the proper response to the dichotomy of control is focusing only on what we can influence. This doesn't require superhuman control, just a commitment to pause before responding. Take a breath. Ask yourself, how would my wisest self handle this? Your reactions shape your reality more than you might realize. Choose them wisely, and choose them in silence. 8. Limiting beliefs. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca observed. Our limiting beliefs, those silent assumptions about what we can and cannot do, often create invisible prisons around our potential. I'm not creative. I'm bad with money. I'll never be able to. These self-imposed limitations become self-fulfilling prophecies when left unchallenged. The Stoics practiced questioning assumptions, especially those about their own capabilities. They understood that most boundaries are mental constructs rather than objective reality. When you notice a limiting belief arising, quietly ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Do I know with certainty that this limitation exists? Then, look for a single exception that disproves the belief. Identify one limiting belief that's holding you back. Write it down, then write 3 pieces of evidence that contradict it. Keep this note somewhere private and review it daily for 1 month. Your potential exceeds your perception of it. Expand your boundaries in silence and watch your world expand in response. 9. Procrastination. While we wait for life, life passes, Seneca warned. Procrastination, that habit of putting off important actions, is perhaps the most subtle thief of potential. We delay, rationalize, and find endless distractions. Meanwhile, our goals remain unrealized, our projects unfinished, our growth stunted. The Stoics practiced immediate action. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Overcoming procrastination doesn't require grand declarations or elaborate productivity systems. It begins with a simple commitment to start now, with whatever is available to you. Identify something you've been putting off. Break it down into a step so small it seems ridiculous not to take it right now. Want to write a book? Commit to 1 sentence. Want to get fit? Commit to 1 push-up. The momentum from these tiny actions often carries you further than expected. The life you want exists on the other side of the actions you're avoiding. Take them quietly, consistently, without need for validation or applause. 10th, perfectionism. We don't abandon projects because we don't like them, says modern Stoic Ryan Holiday. We abandon them because we're afraid of doing them imperfectly. Perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about fear. Fear of criticism, judgment, failure. It keeps us stuck in preparation mode, endlessly polishing and planning, but never fully launching. The Stoics practiced what we might call excellent imperfection, pursuing virtue and excellence while accepting the inevitable flaws and limitations of human endeavor. When perfectionism arises, quietly remind yourself that imperfect action trumps perfect inaction every time. Ask, will this matter 5 years from now? Will the small imperfections outweigh the benefit of completion? Set a timer for 25 minutes and work on a project you've been avoiding due to perfectionism. During this time, focus only on progress, not perfection. When the timer ends, acknowledge what you've accomplished. Perfect is the enemy of done. Choose progress over perfection and make that choice in silence. 11th, social media addiction. While the ancient Stoics didn't contend with Instagram or TikTok, they certainly understood distraction. Seneca observed, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Social media promises connection, but often delivers distraction, comparison, and a fractured attention span. Studies show the average person checks their phone 96 times daily, once every 10 minutes of waking life. The Stoics valued presence above all. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "No matter what anyone says or does, my task is to be good." Reducing social media doesn't require announcing a digital detox or publicly deleting apps. Simply begin by creating boundaries between yourself and your devices. Your attention is your most precious resource. Guard it carefully, redirect it intentionally, and do so without explanation or announcement. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." By eliminating these 11 things from your life in silence, you create space for what truly matters: wisdom, virtue, and inner peace. The choice is yours. Make it quietly. Make it now. Drop down your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more.